Hey, what's up? JenuineLover here. This video, I'm going to give you my pros and cons, my tea, what I think, my 2 cents on lock extensions. If you haven't already watched my lock extension video, go ahead and check that out. If you're not interested in hearing anything about lock extensions, you can go ahead and exit the video now, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you are, just keep on watching. Okay, so I got a lot of questions, a lot of comments, a lot of compliments when I was rocking the lock extensions. And I actually know a couple subscribers and followers on Instagram who have started their locks because I inspired them. However, I didn't really get to talk to everybody when it came to them starting their locks to really give everybody any pros and cons. And on top of that, they all started them at different points in time. So I was experiencing different things at different times. So now that I have taken them out so that I can catch anybody else before you make the same mistakes that I did, I just want to go ahead and share this video. Okay, I did say pros and cons, but to be honest, this is kind of like a bash lock extension video, and I'm gonna tell you why. I can only come up with 2 pros, and that would be for length and styling purposes. Yes, you get some bomb length when you extend your locks, whether you're going for a bob, whether you want to do them layered, whether you want them all even, whether you want them layered long like I had mine. Whatever the case may be, whatever the length you're searching for, you can get it through lock extensions. On top of that, you may be able to style your hair more than you are now because you have now added the extra inches. And I know I go through the same thing where I'm looking at all of these lock pictures and videos, and I'm seeing styles that I cannot do yet because my locks are too short. This will give you the opportunity to be able to do those. So that's it. The length and the styling. Only pros that I can come up with for rocking lock extensions. If you can come up with any other pro for rocking lock extensions, drop it in the comment section below, because those are the only 2 that I could think. As far as the cons go, it's a little bit different. I can ramble off a bunch of them. I'm gonna just explain to you some of the things that I had to experience, and I'm probably gonna do them in rant form. But before I go off on that rant or that tangent, let me just tell you those 4 things that I can think of. 1 would be the maintenance. 2 would be the fact that they are heavy. 3 would be the fact that they are very damaging or can be damaging. And then 4 would be you are missing out on your actual journey. Let me just start off by saying, when I first put the lock extensions in, my scalp was kind of sore. They felt kind of heavy. Even when I had the bang left out without the lock extensions, the back was kind of heavy. After the first wash, when I washed them, they got softer, and then every wash after that, they were softer and softer. Washing that hair was the absolute worst. I hated washing that hair. It took more shampoo than I would normally use because my locks were short. The hair had a smell when it got wet. I guess since it said it was human hair, I wasn't expecting to have to deal with that. However, once that hair gets wet, there is a smell. Now you can smell your shampoo through it, but you still smell weave. I guess I was expecting to just have an extension of my lock and not have to experience the same thing I would experience with weave, but you do. And on top of that, not only does it smell weird when it's wet, it also gets hard and it feels like plastic, almost like synthetic hair when it's wet. And that's not something that I want to deal with. Once the hair dries, it's soft, it goes back to normal the longer you have it. Some of them, I couldn't even tell where my hair started and the weave stopped because the lock had got so soft that you really couldn't tell a difference when rubbing down. But when it was wet, you don't have to touch it. You can clearly look right at it and see my fuzzy hair, because you know when our hair get wet, it swells up and it's puffy. Well, that hair looks like it does the opposite. It's shiny. You can see where it's wrapped. You can no longer see the fuzzies along the side that have started to come where it's soft and it's starting to look like a lock. You can't see any of that when it's wet. It's shiny like synthetic locks, and that was kind of, unfortunate. I couldn't go out in public as I would just rocking my own hair, because you can clearly see that I have this stuff wrapped on the bottom of my hair. I didn't like it. And on top of that, I don't know if anybody walking near me can actually smell this hair. Aside from that, the hair was so heavy when it was wet. Retwisting, that was hardly an option for me. Because it's already heavy, I don't want to do any tugging and twisting on my roots. So for the most part, if you look at my pictures on Instagram, I'm rocking braid outs and all that new growth is just there. Of course, it's damaging because it's heavy. That's a given. I had combined 6 of my locks. I had to make them, a 2-strand twist to get my lock extension back on. And at that point, I felt like I was losing my mind. Like, literally, you are damaging your own locks to save the lock extension. Like, really, Jen, come on. So I had 2 here that I combined, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. I mean, after that last one, I think I was talking to Barbie Locks on Snapchat. Hey girl, if you watch it, and she was asking me a few questions about it, and because I made a couple comments about taking them out, and I told her, like, look, at this point I've combined 6 locks, and my regimen is gone. I don't even take care of my hair like I used to. I feel like I'm trying to hold on to the lock extensions and no longer loving my own hair the way I should. And she was like, no girl, you gotta love on your babies. And I'm, with those lock extensions, I had got to a point where I can deal with the smell and that. I was used to that, but the fact that I had longer locks and I was able to achieve just throwing it up and it looking all messy, and I like the look, that I completely forgot about my hair. You don't get a chance to really love on your own hair the same way. At least I didn't. And I felt like I was going to get to a point where I'm losing my locks just so that I can have length and to be able to style them. So it's like, why are you really holding on to them? Because you're damaging your own hair. And I didn't do hot oil treatments like I used to. Y'all know I was good for my hot oil treatments. There was a lot of things that I had my hair doing on a schedule where I can feel my hair and I know what it needs for me to do. No, because I couldn't feel my ends. All I could feel was up here, my roots. So I didn't really know what my hair needed. And to be honest, at some point I didn't really care. I was just concerned about these lock extensions and making sure that I'm not getting any lint down here, that type of thing. But is it really worth it? That's the question to me. Can you really not deal with your short locks? Like, you got locks because you were in a point in your life where you knew this is what you wanted to do, and you don't care about what anybody else thinks. I'm just speaking for myself, but saying you don't care about what anybody else thinks. You know that you are beautiful enough to wear your hair any kind of way. You can shave it off. You can, you've already big chopped. You've seen that. Like, you can wear your hair any kind of way. Does it really matter if they're short? Or that one comment did it for me. No, you gotta love on your babies. Like, I'm like, what happened? They gotta go. I literally started pulling them off because some of them, they would just come right off. I can just pop them off. But the ones, if you watch the lock extension video, and some of them were like perfect and some were like, not so perfect. The ones that were not so perfect came right out. The ones that I had did perfect, that you couldn't tell where my hair started and my hair. Let me see if I can find you one. Listen, I still have that hair in my head. Keisha Adinker asked me, were they hard to take out? And I said yes and no. Yes and no, and this is why. No, because some of them, literally, I just pull and they came off. I've even had a couple I look over in the car like, oh snap, they fell out because I didn't do them super tight, because I knew when I did them that I wasn't going to keep them. Now, when I decided to keep them, that little period that I said I was going to keep them, I did go through and fix some of the ones that were just way too big, like didn't come out right at all. I fixed those, but the ones that were perfect, I was tugging, nothing was coming. I had to cut at the bottom and unravel. Oh, I hope I can find one for y'all. You can't see it, but I can feel it. it still has lock extension hair in there. Here's one. This is actually a lock that I combined. And I think because this was combined prior to the lock extension. And it's still trying to mesh together. If you can see that, you can see where it's still trying to mesh. Well, all of this that's like tight, that is still the lock extension hair. And I can't get it off. And I have a few of those that are like that. Specifically, the one that I combined over here, I wish it was down, but I can't get to it. This one is locked where I combined it, complete open. I'm gonna have to do a video and show y'all this. It's completely open, and then it's wrapped real tight, and then you can see the split at the end. Lock extension hair. Like, there's hair still stuck in my hair and I can't get it out. Even though it's still pieces in my hair that I can't get out, I don't feel like they're gonna cause a threat. I'm actually thinking about using the lock extension hair to close up where I still have holes, to just a very little bit, like strings of it, to close up where I've combined locks. I'm thinking about doing that. If y'all think that's a good idea, drop some comments below. Let me know. Let's talk about that. Do you think I can use a little bit of the extension hair, like strands, so that it's not heavy, like a few strands, and wrap it around real tight so that it closes or seals basically repairs my two-headed dragons? I was watching Kaya Journey's video, the one where she was closing the holes through interlocking. Girl, I tried that, but the hole is so big. It's not a hole, it's literally 2 locks. So that's not gonna work. I gotta come up with something else. And I think that other than taking needle and thread, which would you prefer to have in your head? Thread or something that actually looks like hair? I don't know why my phone is ringing right now. So I guess that's all I have for this video. If I do it again, it would just strictly be for like a hairstyle to wear for maybe a month or so, and that's it. If you're gonna do it, think about the method if you're planning on keeping them. My method was super heavy. I do not recommend it. If your reasoning for doing it is simply because of styling purposes and extra length, unless it's just to rock it for a little while, my suggestions: be careful with that length, be careful with the styling, try not to use a whole lot of hair, be prepared for that smell. If you don't experience it, let me know, because I did. I tried different shampoos. It wasn't a mildew smell, so I know I didn't have like mold or anything like that in my hair, but it was the weave smell. Y'all gotta know what smell I'm talking about. Comment below if you know what smell I'm talking about. But yeah, that's all for this video. It's long enough. Thank y'all for sticking around. Drop some comments below. Let's chat it up about these lock extensions, the repairs, the smell, some of that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces. What is that?